of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered. Hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered and misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the folded hands. I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom.
With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom.
Hello. Setting proper motivation with 3 points. Refuge field, Bodhicitta field, and the purpose of this practice. First, refuge field. visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us, as so loving, caring, and embracing. Bodhicitta field, visualize your two grandparents and all of them members, including children, and all other dear mother sentient beings, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, god and goddesses, spirits, everyone with you from this world, from the Switzerland and the world, from the ocean, where the trillions and trillions of creatures are there, and in the wilderness, in the forest, once again, trillions of creatures are there, and the entire universe. And you're inspiring them. You are like the mother, and all others are like children. And number two, the purpose of this practice is to awaken hidden treasure within us, also refers to Buddha nature, awakening which one experiences total fearlessness and infinite ease, which everybody is seeking, and all beings are joining us. And that, let us remember that as we do these recitations, there are three ways of doing it. One, where the words flow and the mind distracted. Number two, the words flow and the meanings reflected. And number three, the words flow, the meanings reflected, and experiences involved. Best, of course, would be the third, but then for that, to reach to that level of the experience, it requires many years of studies, contemplation, meditation, and eventually we aim to reach that level. Meanwhile, we should not miss to do at least the second version where our distractions are kept away and that the mind is focused on the meanings of these words. And imagine that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us. Page 3. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I bear homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I bear homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I bear homage. Sanje Jula Soge Chonamla Chanju Padu Dani Gyapsu Che Dage Jinso Kebe Sonamge Chola Benjire Sanje Dubara Isho Sanje Jula Soge Chonamla Chanju Padu Dani Gyapsu Che Dage Jinso Kebe Sonamge Chola Benjira Sanje Dubara Jo Sanje Joda Zoge Jonamna Chanjo Bado Dane Gyapsu Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonamge Chola Shom. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the Supreme Among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the host of Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, The Lord of the All, which leads the hearer seeking pacification and complete peace. The Lord of the Paths, which causes the Bodhisattvas with altruism to help migrators to achieve the aims of the world. And Omniscience, the thought of possession, which helps the Buddhas to expand a variety of teachings endowed with a complete aspect of subject. The one who is transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teacher, Sugata and protector to your make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays. To you, the Buddha, make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I chant the mantra of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. The essence of dependent origination mantra in Tibetan, the Dende Yingpo Do, Dende Yingpo Sunga. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaya Svaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaya Svaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Shramanaya Svaha. Meaning of the dependent origination mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. Whatever is the cessation of these causes is taught thus by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite, such as the nectar that Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I'll return to words. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of the self realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddha, so 3 times I bear obeisance. The 4 seals of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcendent sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is also everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expansive billions eons. The Buddha does not wash away the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries with his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. Instructions on parting from the 4 attachments. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all direct gloom. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings as my guests. I will engage in the appealing deeds of excellence of enlightenment. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Next, praise to Buddha Shakyamuni, page 15. to the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the Tathagata, the full destroyer, the completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and full awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subdued from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, and said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With a supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Lustrous like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The saving, having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of marriage with the qualities of vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees from attachment, the virtue that frees from the lower realms, the one part, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated also show the power to liberation. The holy feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha prostrate. I prostrate to the Buddha, the chief of bipeds. I prostrate to the Dhamma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the supreme one. To all 3 I always prostrate with reverence. With extreme devotion do I always prostrate to all who are worthy of prostrations, through surrendering my body's numbering particles that constitute all the realms. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue mind thoroughly, this is a teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this marriage, may sentient beings attain the rank of omniscience, subdue the 4 faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Heart Sutra, page 31. Page 31, Heart Sutra. The Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the irretrievable gem. Thus did I hear at one time the Buddha was riding on Masavalsa's mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arabalokadeshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arabalokadeshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice activity of profound professional wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arabalokadeshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice activity of profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of nature. Form is empty, empty is a form, empty is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composition of factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composition of factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas to rely on and dwell in professional wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, there is also manifestly complete awakening to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the professional wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the professional wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfectional wisdom is declared. Yatha Om Gade Gade Bara Sam Gade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva should train in the profound perfectional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from their concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aravalukiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. One should practice the profound perfectional wisdom just as you've indicated, even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aravalukiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. This completes the Arya Bhagavati Prastham Hridaya Sutra. Deyata Om Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata 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 Om Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. By the teachings of three supreme jewels possessing power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. 8 verses for train the mind by Geshe Lharampa. With the determination that she, page 34. 8 verses for train the mind by Geshe Lharampa, Lojong Sikema. With the determination that she, the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear for their ready to find as I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others, out of jealousy, treat me wrongly with this abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extreme hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer a benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections, past the space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance. Okay, 7 in practice, page 39. 7 in practice. Excerpt from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samadhi. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You, the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, God of freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions, to all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms in the world, to all you Buddhas visualize this real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas numberless as particles, each amidst a host of Bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of the Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugathas. Beautiful flowers in regular gardens, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense offered to victorious ones of Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings and spectacular array offered to victorious ones. But transcendent offerings, purest and vast, with a profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these are openly laid bare before you. I lift my heart, rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of soulish realizers here still training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings, who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening. All you are my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated with by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening for all beings. Okay, model offering. This ground, adorned with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha filled and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajibhe Geshe Mendo Tam Shenyam Bane Sanye Shendo Medebuvaye The 4 Dhammas of Venerable Kambapa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The 4 Dhammas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva. becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps with true existence. Please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality, on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Radha Mandela Gamnirate. Amen. Okay, next, the foundation of all good qualities, which is the composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, and is the roadmap of enlightenment. I remember the many years ago, perhaps like 20 years ago, or 18, 19, 20 years ago. I don't remember exactly the location. It was His Holiness the Dalai Lama, when His Holiness was abroad, some in Europe and America, I don't remember that. So there was the host, the host identified one spot, and His Holiness was brought there, and then they informed that this place was quite the haunted place, and they requested His Holiness to kindly bless the place. Then His Holiness, I was just wondering, His Holiness going to do some, tantric mantras and so forth related to tantra. His Holiness said the foundation of all good qualities. This one, that really made me think a lot. And later, I come to realize that this is the real indication of somebody who's evolved. So finally, the place haunted, not haunted, is all determined by the people connected with this. And where the people connected with this place, people who go there, these people, they are transformed, the place is automatically transformed. So this, the foundation of all good qualities, this is the roadmap to the transformation. So His Holiness just instantly recited this, and it really made me to think, and then it really helped me to shape my idea of what is the real Buddhist teachings. So this is a roadmap to enlightenment, and we'll all recite this together by contemplating meaning, and if possible, the morning practice that we're doing, if you do it on your own, it'll take maximum 1 hour. But in group, usually it takes like 2 hours, which involves explanation and so forth. Otherwise, if you do it on your own. But if you still see that you feel the constraint of time, and then you can do the refuge bodhicitta, and then ye dharma mantra, and then the foundation of all good qualities, and conclude with the Heart Sutra mantra, and then dedication, 1 or 2 verses. It will take like 7-8 minutes. Yeah, okay. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to them is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this birth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karmas follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. Root of the teaching is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all my migratory beings. Please bless and receive this training Supreme Bodhicitta and bear the responsibility to bring migratory beings. Even if I develop Bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified part of karma abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme virtual vehicle. At that time, the basis for accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I've become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to pretend these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path, and especially friends who practice it have long lives, please bless me to have pacified completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, to enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of stations and paths and could attain the state of Vajratara. First, the meaning of maximum verse. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, teacher of hosts and demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of land whose knows, those on top by at your feet and my prostrations.
Shabla so
Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land who knows, Losan by Edu feet and make prostrations. Okay, now generating the mode of consummate yoga in Tibetan, Tamje Nejoki Simkepa. For this, so this main part of the practice, which consists of four components. The first is the stability meditation, or shamatha meditation. Second one is renunciation. Number three is bodhicitta. And number four is the wisdom of emptiness. And then take the aspiration for a vow, the first 5 minutes of shamatha meditation. And for the shamatha meditation, this would be like a reminder for many of us. If you have not really received proper instructions on the shamatha meditation for extended period of time, there's a tendency that the moment we meditate, our mind can either go into laxity, in the mode of laxity, or the mode of excitement, meaning that mental scattering, and mental laxity where you feel sloppy or lethargic. So when that happens, it's extremely important not to stay in this experience. Try to come out of this, because if we stay in this experience like a little lethargic thinking, and the body also feels little and blissful, but at the same time, the inactivity of the mind sinks in, is very harmful. In the long run, it can be very dangerous in ways that you build a very bad habit, and then to come out of this bad habit again will have, you might have taken, I don't know for how many years or lifetimes, I don't know. So right from the beginning, so meditation, these meditations are something what we call as something is better than other. No, something is better than nothing. Nothing is better than something. And meditation, particularly I would say, and the shamatha meditation falls in this category. Nothing is better than something, because that either you do it properly or don't do it. Because if you do it half-heartedly and with the incompleteness in terms of the skills, without proper guidance, then you build a very bad habit. And this bad habit, undo this bad habit will take more time than to build the good habit. So therefore, and this is very particularly at the point number 3 and point number 4. Point number 1 is body posture. Point number 2 is a focal point. Point number 3 is identifying the errors of meditation, what mistakes we can possibly make while we are meditating. So that identifying this extremely important. And once you identify that, then applying the remedies. Number 4 is very important. Once you see that the mistakes happen, then we have to apply for the remedies. You cannot just live with the mistake. Okay, so 5 minutes. Next is renunciation. Renunciation, there are many the systems or the approaches adopted by the various traditions, Theravada Buddhism, Chinese Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, within Tibetan Buddhism, Sakya, Kagyu, Nyuma, Gelug, and but all of them, the ground is the Buddhist teachings on the Four Seals. So we try to practice renunciation directly based on the Buddha's own teachings of the Four Seals. Okay, ready? So this is going to be purely contemplative. This is going to be purely contemplative, and don't try to correlate with the instruction given here with what you've learned before, what you've heard before. And if you want to correlate, you can. Not now, later. At the moment, let us make the most of our time together to invoke the experiences to the best you can. Okay, with this mind, visualize all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us, and all the dear Buddhas and Shinmings with you. Renunciation is what the Buddha indicated, is to renounce the miseries. To renounce the miseries, the Buddha taught, Ye dharma hedu prabhava, hetum desham tathagatu hevatat. These miseries, they don't arise randomly, they arise from their respective causes. And particularly, that at the root of all these miseries is the self-grasping ignorance. And to counteract this ignorance, the Buddha taught several layers of the wisdom. And these particularly the Buddha indicated the four wisdoms to counteract the four levels of ignorance. And the four wisdoms were indicated in the first three seals, and the fourth seal is in the form of the experience of the resultant state over the practice of the four wisdoms. First, all composite things impermanent. All composite phenomena, composite things are constituted of things which are made of material parts or directional parts, like east, west, north, south, and so forth. And the temporal parts pass in time. So what is constituted of these two parts should necessarily be impermanent in nature. And the impermanence there is of two kinds, gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. Gross impermanence is impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates. For example, our youth. Just contemplate on the beautiful days you spent with your parents when you had no responsibilities. All the responsibilities were being taken by your parents. And there's so much of feeling of the whole atmosphere of joy, happiness, love, and affection around the parents. And those days are gone now. Likewise, in our life, we see that you had moments, beautiful moments of merriment, festivities, birthday parties, holidays, and so forth. They're all gone. For example, huge, gigantic pyramids in Egypt. Likewise, the palaces, the fortresses, now they become like museums. These are the best teachers of impermanence. We go there for sightseeing, but the ones who are really involved see them as is not fun. This is great. These are the great teachers of impermanence. Once upon a time, these places were owned by very powerful people, common people like us, we don't even get to go too close to them, heavily guarded by the security personals, bodyguards. And now they become like a tourist sites. Where are these people? They're all gone, impermanence. Geshe Lharampa, after coming from his teacher's place back to his homeland, he was seeing his own house in such a bad shape, and people were so scared to go there, sensing that this is a haunted house. Once upon a time, owned by a black magician by the name Tobacco, and actually it was just a matter of himself. He came there, and he went there. It's his own house. He went there, and what he saw was his mother's body in the form of a skeleton. Nobody dared get in. The mother passed away. They died there. And Geshe Lharampa said, this is a big message for us, instruction, advice for us. Looking at the mother's skeleton, Geshe Lharampa said, when the mother was here, the son left. When the son came, the mother left. Even if the two were to be together, there's no meaning to be extracted. So better it is for me to go in solitude for Dhamma practice. When the house was here, the owner was gone. When the owner came, the house was in such a bad shape. Even if the two were to be together, there's nothing of great meaning to attain. Better it is for me to live in solitude for Dhamma practice. When the sister was here, the brother has left. When the brother came, sister was wandering around, nowhere to be seen. Even if the two were to be together, there's nothing a meaning to be extracted. Better it is for me to leave the place in solitude for Dhamma practice. So these are the great teaching of impermanence for us. It is for this reason that the Buddha taught, whatever gathers ends in separation. Whatever is accumulated ends in exhaustion. And youth is followed by old age, good health followed by ill health. And what is born dies. This is reality of life. This, what is known as the gross impermanence, is so important for us to contemplate on the gross impermanence. 200 years ago, on planet Earth, perhaps it was like 4 billion human beings or 3 billion human beings, and today is 8 billion human beings. So these 3 billions or 4 billions human beings, where are they now? They were nowhere to be seen. Once upon a time, at that time, there were people of your age, younger than you, older than you, and the children. There's so much of expectations of their own career building, and the parents likewise have the expectations of their children growing up and feeling themselves settled. And where these people, whether their careers, ambitions are established, fulfilled or not fulfilled, they're all gone now. It's not that they're unfortunate and we are fortunate. No. It's a matter of time. 200 years later, in the future, from now, not even a single person, 8 billion human beings will be alive then. It's so important. It's this contemplation on impermanence so important that the Buddha, the first teaching the Buddha gave was on impermanence. The last teaching the Buddha gave was on impermanence. And what the Buddha taught is that of all the footprints, the footprint of the elephants is supreme. And of all the meditations, meditation on impermanence is supreme. So it's so important for us to contemplate, meditate on impermanence. then obvious change, the impermanence that we see, is possible only if the change is happening on a yearly basis with the span of 20 years, 30 years of time, that the obvious changes that you've seen. And now, these are possible only if the changes happen on the yearly basis. It's not that for the last 30 years it remains so static and suddenly it changed abruptly. No, the change was happening on a yearly basis. The change you receive on the yearly basis is possible only if the change is happening on the monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second by second basis, and millisecond by millisecond basis. And millisecond by millisecond basis meaning that any change you receive around all composite phenomena should necessarily be undergoing momentary change. This is known as subtle impermanence. In short, our bodies move so fast, change so fast. The place where we stay is also changing so fast. And your parents, your children, all composite phenomena should necessarily be undergoing this momentary change. It's quite scary. If you really, while we see with our naked eyes, we see things are so static. This is the illusion created because of the limitation of our eyes, weakness of our eyes. The reality is, all composite phenomena should necessarily be undergoing momentary changes. There's a constant flux of change undergoing. It is like pressing a stopwatch or a timer, and you just look at the digits, how the digits move, they move so fast. This will be very helpful for us after the session. Just see that you try to press the timer and the stopwatch and see how the digits move. Seeing is believing. Then a fear will come to us. This is how things are moving so fast. Yes. It's very scary to think of, to see that all the composite phenomena, including my body, myself, they move so fast, changing so fast. Just imagine that you are unknown person picked you up from and thrown you into a very fast moving train. What do you feel? Very scared. The faster the train moves, the more the fear. Why? We don't know where this train is taking us. If the train, and who decides where this train is taking us? The train driver decides. And if the driver is your mom or your dad, no doubt he'll take you to a expected spot. But unfortunately, if it is a dictate of the terrorist, it'll only take us to a slaughterhouse. For us, the driver is our mind. And this mind is directed by, unfortunately, it is under the dictate of the worst of the contamination, worst of the terrorists, worst of contaminations, self-grasping ignorance, complemented by self-centered attitude. Where we're in the hands of these two terrorists, these two, the demons, will only end up in the miseries, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, and so forth. These beings are so acutely agonizing. One moment of such a pain is good enough to nullify all the past moments of the merriments, festivities, birthday parties, and so forth. Yes, it's so acutely painful. I'm tired of thinking of that. When will they stop? 2025 stopped on its own. Nobody's put any effort to stop that. So likewise, our pains, suffering, when will they stop? They will never stop on their own. Impermanence, what we learn that is of two kinds, gross and subtle. We can also classify them into three groups. One kind whose impermanent phenomena, whose continuum never terminates. For example, like your mind, impermanent, the time, and so forth. Time flows in the arrow mode. In other words, the arrow of time. Likewise, the mind flows in the arrow mode. The second class of phenomena, impermanent phenomena, whose continuum invariably stops. like 2024, your youth, your joy is the very experience. Nobody has to do anything to stop them. They stop on their own. There's a third class of phenomena, the class of impermanent phenomena, whose continuum never stops unless until you put conscious effort, like your miseries, your self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude, and painful tears. They will never stop unless until we put conscious effort. Okay, yes, I understand it. So this is what the Buddha indicated as all contaminated things are self nature. So when will this, how to bring an end to this self nature? Given that we now know the cause of this self nature, where you stop the fuel, the flame stops. Likewise, we only by stopping the cause of the miseries that we can expect these miseries to stop. Otherwise, they will just perpetuate endlessly. So how to stop the causes of miseries? Know the nature of this ignorance, and accordingly the remedies should be employed. And given that the ignorance is the root of miseries, the remedy lies in the wisdom. What is the wisdom? Wisdom is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with reality. What's the reality? Reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal, that everything is the nature of emptiness and selflessness. What does it mean by that? That you're in the dream, you see the dream ghost as real, object real, and the fear arises. The moment you wake up to see dream ghost as empty object reality is purely subjective, just purely your mental, the creation of mental projection, the fear drops. And the Buddha taught that all phenomena, they're like dream. Wake up from the sleep of ignorance, and all your samsaric, dreamlike fears will drop. Okay, just imagine that you wake up from sleep of ignorance, where you discover that everything, including the tiniest of the atoms, tiniest of the particles, is like a dream, mental projection, empty of objective reality. The moment you discover that, this is amazing. All your sorrows drop. You transcend all the sorrows. And extremely profound, reliable peace dawns in you. This is what the Buddha indicated as transcending sorrows, absolute peace. Stay in this experience where all your sorrows dissolve the moment you wake up from the sleep of ignorance of samsara. Generate a very strong aspiration. May I forever remain in this experience of the emptiness of object reality, the dreamlike nature of phenomena, empty object reality, whereby all my sorrows are transcended: sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, the loss of near and dear ones, and so forth, they all dissolve. This aspiration is known as a renunciation. Okay, we'll slowly switch to the Bodhicitta practice. Take a few seconds, rest. Are you ready? For the Bodhicitta practice, this is a journey that we have never undertaken thus far, so therefore we require an incredible support. And the greatest of support that we can think of in this whole universe are the Triple Gem. Just think of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and particularly Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni and His Holiness that are with you. And you will generate Bodhicitta for yourself and for all the demon sentient beings. Visualize your true parents, all of our members, including children, and all demon sentient beings, human beings, animals, insects, and the ghosts, God and goddess spirits, and everyone, whether they are alive or they are passed away. Just think of visualize all of them with you. and imagine that you're inspiring all of them to generate bodhicitta. This is the ultimate guarantee that all your ease will expand to infinity. Fears, all your fears and all your stress, frustrations will dissolve. Okay, so for this we do the 4 immeasurables to be concluded by the Bodhicitta aspiration. So here, the warning is given that oftentimes when we do this practice, some people they reported to me that this practice is so superficial. My mind doesn't really resonate with this practice. It's so superficial. My mind doesn't resonate. It's so superficial. Yes. Therefore, this is known as training. This is known as the practice. It's like practicing music. You practice the keyboard, and you mimic your teacher in pressing the various keys of the keyboard, and you're expecting music, but instead of music, noise comes out. Noise doesn't really resonate with the music, but keep doing it by mimicking your teachers, mimic your teacher, and eventually the noisy sound will gradually turn into beautiful music over a span of time. So this is the meaning of the practice. So therefore we are doing this, given that it doesn't really resonate with your mind. So therefore we require the practice. With this practice, there's great purpose to stop all the painful tears. Okay. So Buddhists might just try to invoke the feelings as much as possible, even if the feelings are not invoked. With the best of attempt, don't worry. This is where we'll gradually get there and then gradually feel the real compassion flowing to all the beings. Are you ready? Immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. Cause of happiness primarily consisting of the most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness, and the most beautiful mind of the Bodhicitta, which wishes to become Buddha for the benefit of all dear Mother Sentient beings. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. Buddhist Bodhisattvas, witnessing that making such courageous commitment, their intense happy and proud of you. Just like a mother, after all this many years of raising her children, today you as a little girl, just aged 12, or a little boy, aged 11, 2 of them come to the mother, tell the mother, Mom, please take rest, you've done everything for us. We know how much you love us. Now we're grown up, we'll take care of all the siblings. And the mother couldn't believe her eyes and ears. We're so proud and happy over your commitment. This is exactly what the Buddhist Bodhisattvas they feel today. So this joy and happiness Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectars of soothing light towards you and all their Mother Sentient beings. The mere touch of light and the nectars with the bodice beings yours instills in all happiness and the cause of happiness in the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the dear Mother Sentient beings. You intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Cause of suffering primarily consists of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, they are so happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectars of soothing towards you and all the mother sentient beings. Their mere touch of light-like nectars with the bodies is yours, washes of all the miseries and cause of miseries from the sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the dear mother sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness that they're endowed with. May all my dear mother sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the cause of happiness that they're endowed with. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the cause of happiness that they're endowed with. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment to the intense happy and proud of you, this pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectars of soothing light towards you and all the mother sentient beings. The mere touch of light and nectars with the bodies is yours. Stabilizes happiness and the cause of happiness that beings endowed with. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the mother sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sound the relief. Last, immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others, and instead abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear mother sentient beings equally, leaving none aside. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, the intense happy and proud for you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectar of soothing to you and all the sentient beings. The mere touch of light and nectars with the body's beings yours. Frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, and instead make them abide in the great state of equanimity, embrace all other mother sentient beings with total love and affection, living on the side. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all of them and the sentient beings. You are intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sound the relief. This is the most beautiful mind of the unconditional love towards all the beings. Our body's experience of the unconditional love to all the beings, to the extent that you, with so much love and affection, look at the eyes of all the sentient beings, that the beings themselves feel themselves so special in your eyes. And this is such a beautiful mind which will eventually give birth to the Bodhicitta, the one, the mental state which is being cherished by all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. With folded hands, we'll make a Bodhicitta commitment 3 times together, wholeheartedly. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mothers sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mothers sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mothers sentient beings. Our body is in this incredibly beautiful mind of Bodhicitta. And this is the most beautiful mind that possibly exists in the entire universe. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into a spotless, clean, montask, horizontally sitting with the heart. It's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of the mother sentient beings. But imagine that no matter how you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I know that. What makes you think that you can become a Buddha? Yes, I have the Buddha nature within me. And it is within all the dear mother sentient beings. If this were the case, how come that is not activated? How come that it does not manifest in the form of a full-fledged Buddhahood since time immemorial till today? Yes, it's all because that I'm being deceived by the 2 demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude, and today I'm disillusioned by that. I'm going to do everything to exterminate the 2 demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. What are we going to do? I'm going to introduce a very powerful remedy. What is that? The only remedy to only liberating factor to liberate us and all demons sentient beings to a state of ultimate happiness. What is that like? This is the wisdom of emptiness. Arya Bodhisattvas, non-dual wisdom of emptiness. Okay. Let's quickly retrieve the experience of the emptiness meditation, which we did as the 3rd of the 4 seals. Just imagine that you wake up from the sleep, the dream, with the dream of the ghost dream, where you feel so much of fear. The moment you wake up, all this fear dissolves. Likewise, the Buddha taught, everything is like dream. You wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Just imagine that you discover that everything is like a dream, the way the Buddha taught. This is known as the empty of objective reality. You discover that. The moment you discover, all the fears of samsara drops. Amazing. Stay in this experience where you see that everything is like illusion, empty of objective reality. And slowly transform this wisdom of emptiness into a spotless, clean, white, thumb-size, white vajra, vertically sitting with the Mundgod heart. Yes, this is amazing. Now you have the blaze of non-dual bodhicittas. Moon is symbolic of the ultimate conventional bodhicitta, which is the aspiration to become Buddha for the benefit of all demon sentient beings. And this guarantees you to eradicate the mental defilements of self-centered attitude. And the Vajra is symbolic of the ultimate Bodhicitta, which is non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas. And this will guarantee that all your mental defilements, both afflictive and cognitive obscurations, are going to be exterminated, and your Buddha nature is going to be manifested fully. It's amazing. Yes, it's truly amazing. But meanwhile, don't forget that your 2 parents, your children, and all their mother sentient were suffering terribly. Generate a very strong compassion to all their dear mother sentient beings. And this compassion invokes the Vajramuni of the heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one set of Vajramuni at the heart of your mother, one set at the heart of your father, one set with each of your children, your family members, with each of the beings here in Switzerland, with each of the beings in the entire world, with each of the beings with each of the trillions of creatures in the oceans, with trillions of creatures in the wilderness, from the tiniest of the organism to the biggest of the blue whales and the elephants and so forth. Now everyone has got the share of the Vajramoon. Likewise, all the creatures in the Milky Way galaxy. Likewise, in the entire universe. Now everyone gets a share of Vajramoon from you. Amazing. Yes, that's true. So, meanwhile, let's also not forget your two parents, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're watching us. Why don't we invite all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the witness and the guests to are taking the ceremony of taking the aspiration of Bodhisattva vow? As a gesture making this request to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, let us slowly stand up to make stand up along with all the other sentient beings to make three prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, see if you can sit on your right knees. See if you can sit on your right knees. And those who have knee problem, sit in the most the comfortable position. And those who do not have knee problem, back problem, so forth, just see if you can sit on your right knees. And meanwhile, given that it will take a few minutes, if you start to feel the pain in between, then make sure that you take a comfortable seat, because the pain should not hamper us from contemplating on the taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So let us turn to page 49. We are very extremely fortunate that we are here in such a beautiful space created by Patrick and Marianne and organized by Kadidubba Buddhist Center. So just imagine that you were such a little girl age 4 or 5 or little boy age 4 or 5. For the first time in your life, you are making a public appearance on behalf of the school. And your parents, whatever important things that they have to do today, they leave behind everything to join the audience, waving their hands to you, saying that we're so proud for you. And you, although you are a very young little girl or little boy, aged just 4 or 5, but you're a very responsible child. You bring along with you all your siblings to give them also the opportunity to take part in this program. This is exactly what you're doing. This is exactly what the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, like the parents, are so proud of you today that you've invited them to be the guest as well as witness to undertaking the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. They're so proud of you. They came just to give full attention, pay full attention to what you're doing as you have requested. And like the little girl, little boy, bring along all the siblings. Exactly this is what you do to bring all the sentient beings to and let them also take part in taking the aspiration of Bodhisattva vow today. So with this mind, imagine that you're leading this practice, all beings are joining us, and we're going to recite the 4 verses together. I'm going to quickly explain the first verse and the last 2 verses. The first verse, it says, it begins by saying, I go for refuge in Triple Gem. So what we're doing is we're taking the ceremony of taking the aspiration of Bodhisattva vow. So here, although it is set as vow, but it has no special commitment. If at all you want to take some commitments, it is that from today onwards, I'll try my best not to harm others, and I'll try my best. Yes, sometimes once in a while you can become angry, but I will not really hold a deep sense of grudge, animosity against others, and I'll try my best to render the services or help to other people, and at least I'll not try to harm others. This much, if you can commit yourself, you're entitled to take the aspiration of Bodhisattva vow here. And when you take this vow, it doesn't mean that we are building a teacher-student, guru and student relationship. No, not at all. We're just like friends, spiritual friends. And I'm somebody who got opportunity to engage in these practices with the help of my own teachers, and then we are all doing collectively together, not as a teacher and student, but as friends. So keep this in mind. And because that this is a journey to become enlightened for the benefit of them sentient beings, to attain enlightenment, to attain Buddhahood, this is the most important journey that possibly exists in the universe. And yet we have never undertaken this journey before, so we require incredible great support, and greatest of the support that we can think of are the Triple Gem. So the first line says, I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. And this journey involves the road, and if the road is blocked by the fallen trees and the boulders and so forth, we cannot undertake this journey. And this road of enlightenment is not external road, it's internal road, it's the road of the mind. Your mind is the road to enlightenment. So this mind must not be blocked by the negativities, negative karmas, afflictions, and so forth. So the best way by which to remove these negativities to the best you can is, as the Buddha indicated, to confess the negativities. Second line says, I confess the negativities individually. So now the road is clear, but if the car does not have the fuel, again, you cannot undertake the journey. So the car is none other than your mind. Your mind, like the car, will travel to the Buddhahood. So this mind should have the inner fuel of the virtues. And again, the Buddha taught that the best way by which you accumulate so much of virtue within a short span of time is by rejoicing in the virtues of others and rejoicing in the virtues of yourself. Third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Now the road is clear and the car is enough fuel. What kind of journey I'm going to make? The last line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I'm going to undertake the journey to become enlightened for the benefit of the sentient beings. Okay, let's try to contemplate the meanings as much as possible. Then let's read the first 3 verses 3 times together. And imagine that you are leading this practice and all the beings, so you have deliberately brought them together, all the beings to take part in this ceremony, so that all the painful tears can be stopped and the happiness will expand to infinity. Together. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in virtues all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others and myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests, and shall engage in appealing to the accidents of enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolutely accomplish the aims of others and myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests, and shall engage in appealing to these accidents of enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the blessed Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and turn my light to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to restore the comes aims of others and myself. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests and shall engage in the appealing deeds of excellence of enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I'm going to quickly explain the next two verses. It begins by invoking the blessings of Buddhist Bodhisattvas to pay, Gurus Buddhist Bodhisattvas to pay heed to us. And the first verse, we wonder whether or not there is somebody who succeeded in this journey. And flipping through the history book, we see that 2,500 years ago, there was a prince by the name Prince Siddhartha, and he succeeded in this journey. And how did he succeed? You wonder. He succeeded in this journey of becoming enlightened for the benefit of sentient beings by creating two factors. The first factor is the factor of the very powerful motivation generation of the very powerful motivation Bodhicitta. With that, he generated a very strong aspiration to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And the second factor, to materialize this aspiration, the Prince Siddhartha engaged in the Bodhisattva practices, 6 perfections like generosity, ethical discipline, patience, just effort, concentration, and wisdom. And likewise, the 4 perfections, the skillful means, aspiration prayers, the power, and the primordial wisdom. So this is all his efforts were all invested on the practice of the 6 perfections or 4 perfections, making them 10. And now, look, even after 2,500 years later, we see that how many beings, human beings, the non-human beings, trillions, infinite beings have benefited from the awakening of one individual, Prince Siddhartha. And his, for example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, such the embodiment of the compassion and the universal the values. What we see is that prior to the whole world is the product of the teaching of this great teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni. So, if this is how Buddha Shakyamuni succeeded in his journey, I will then take Buddha Shakyamuni as my role model, as the guiding light for me to traverse on the path which he followed to become enlightened. I'll also follow his footsteps to reach to enlightenment, the way and manner in which a very obedient, very intelligent, very compassionate, obedient child will follow the footsteps of the extremely matured parents. So this is what we're trying to do. So we'll say this 3 times together by contemplating meanings as much as possible. As before, imagine that you lead this practice and all beings are joining us. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and Dharamshala too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and Dharamshala too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and Dharamshala too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy of having received the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. I repeat these 2 mantras after me 3 times. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Ubadayami. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Ubadayami. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Ubadayami. Om Surade Samayastam Hosida Vajrayata Sukham. Om Surade Samayastam Hosida Vajrayata Sukham. Om Sure De Samayastam Hosida Vajrayada Sukham. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas, like your parents, just imagine your mother, after all these many years, receiving complaint from the school principal, school teachers, to the school the teacher parents the meeting, always getting complaints about you as little girl, little boy. And today again the mother sees the school principal coming to the mother, and the mother very apprehensive, what kind of complaint this time? And the mother, the school principal, no, we came here to congratulate you. And what for? That your little girl, little boy, two of them are they selected as the best students of this school for this year. The mother could not believe her eyes and ears. This is exactly what happens in all Buddhist Bodhisattvas today. That after all these innumerable lifetimes where the Buddhist Bodhisattvas only wish that we shun the non-virtues so that we will be freed from the suffering. On the contrary, we just chase after the causes in the form of the non-virtues, and then continuously be inflicted with the pains and the tears, painful tears. And likewise, the Buddhist Bodhisattvas only wish that we embrace the virtues as much as possible, so that we have abundance of happiness. On the contrary, we destroy our own virtues, they forever remaining deprived of the happiness. And today what you do, they did something so different that made them extremely happy and proud of you. So this pride and happiness, the way in manner in which the mother feels, this is exactly what all Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel today. This pride and happiness the Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel invoke the Vajramana at their hearts to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that are visualized at the heart at your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all the replicas of Vajraman from Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of your children, your family members, and all the dear sentient beings, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. This is an incredibly great event. So this is what you did today. This is the best way by which you repay the kindness of all dear sentient beings. And today you did it. And this is the best of the gifts, offerings that you can make to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And Buddha declared that one moment of generating compassion far excels the gifts of the whole universe filled with gems and offered to Buddhist Bodhisattvas. If this were the case, what I mentioned of our heavenly aspiration Bodhisattva today, so today you have made the greatest of offerings to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And out of your life, there's nothing greater a meaning than this. And today you have given such meaning to your life. And all these three wonders happen because of the blessings of all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas for that matter, let us slowly stand up along with all the other sentient beings to make three prostrations to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. You please take your seats. Page 50, page 50, the last verse. Okay, this practice is so precious for all of us. At the same time, the question is, how can we make sure that we continue to meet with this practice in future lifetimes? So there are two things to keep in mind. One is that even in future lifetimes we meet with this practice, the teaching and the practice. And then number two, that once we meet with this teaching and practice, we then wholeheartedly plunge into this practice to make the most of this, and then we traverse the path, Gade Gade Bara Gade Bara Sangade Bodhi. So for that matter, this is the verse we're going to read now. This is for to be connected. Include this in the form of very powerful prayer to be connected with this practice of the true Bodhicittas, and even in future lifetimes. So, along with all the other sentient beings, and imagine the Buddhist Bodhisattvas are with us, and you are leading this prayer. Let's say this 3 times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even across my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even across my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious Bodhicittas even across my life. Okay, next page 51. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucid seeds and awakened mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit, having well obtained this human existence. I've been born in the family of the Buddha and am now one Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall let disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering jewelry in Hebrew rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. As the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death, it is an inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. Is the tree that shadows all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the mystic ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the journey of the middle of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence, who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite all the world to be my guest at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May God's damaged girls and all be joyful. Okay, let's turn to page 55, dedication prayers. Okay, so we have 2 days, today and tomorrow, and the whatever merit that we have gathered, that we have accumulated, let us dedicate this for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and that His Holiness's vision of the universal ethics, His Holiness's aspiration for the world peace and so forth, is fulfilled, and where the world continues to receive blessings from His Holiness, and that may the teaching of the Buddha on compassion, the universal compassion, the Bodhicitta, and the wisdom and emptiness thrive in the minds of all demon sentient beings. So Buddha's mind. In the land encircled by snow mountains, all powerful chariots say Tencent Gyatso, please him and answer samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samadhi too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all this medicine the best way, that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with dedication, praise as the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in 3 times, so that I might know from the noble Buddhist heart's deeds. Our dedicated merits thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of Buddhists and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, Bodhicitta, birthview, and the 2 stages, having dispelled all inner such as poverty, despair, oppression, cruelty, epidemics, and natural disasters, to the environmental degradation. May all beings forever enjoy the glory of peace and happiness. Inspired by wisdom, full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. May spend day and night carefully reflecting by what means can enhance his teaching, achieve the supreme savior, to restore his efforts over countless eons. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed, from working with effort and this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes blinded ignorance. We keep praise to Buddha Shakyamuni together 3 times. Tagya toja shakya rezo ton shenge meto dege bonjombo sege tabo jeme ko yemo kela chaseno harmony Mahamona Yeswaha Om Muni Mahamona Yeswaha Tagya tuje Shagere so ton shenge meto ge bonjombo serge lumbo tobo jebe Shage Gabo Kyola Chasano Oh Mone Mahamona Yeswaha Mahamona Yeswaha Tagya tuje shagere so ton shenge emet ge bonjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye gembo kyola chaselo Mone Mahamona swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamunaya 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 swaha. Okay, 3 processions together.